Hey everybody, it's Frankie. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good morning, pilots and capsuleers alike. Whatever time it is, you're here with us on Echoes Radio, echoesradio.com. I'm sure by now the scuttlebutt has gotten around that Frankie from Jersey is no longer, that's me, is no longer allowed anywhere near a gallon of sad. Whose fault is it they left their comms array out and easy to hijack? It's all good, though. I got those base metals and I moved on to a new gorgeous system. Metropolis has always been good to me after all, and the folks out in Rolera don't seem to care too much if I use their arrays to get good music out to you, my lovely listeners. Not that I asked, but they aren't complaining yet, although I haven't used it yet. This week we are back with our little show. We've got some music and a new stream that'll just blow you away, I'm telling you. For our first segment of the night, clearly, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the developer wing of the Jovians and their most current antics. So, the Jove have deactivated 59,000 more pilots over the last week. Impressive numbers, but pretty similar to the numbers we saw last week. I'm wondering if we'll see 60,000 again next week. Who knows? It's a lot. That's pretty damn good. Anyway, the percentages of these pilot removals have changed somewhat, with 49% being shut down for RMT operations. What is interesting is the higher portions of abnormal anomaly and encounter behaviors. I suppose it's just harder to tell when a bot is ratting or jumping to encounters compared to when it's mining, less telltale signs, harder to check, etc. Nevertheless, thank goodness the Jovians are working on this. It might not be visible just yet, but this will definitely help in the long run. And now, that new Q&A section we were talking about, the new developer Q&A. So the second weekly Q&A has been put up. And this little segment that Jove are doing, where they take questions submitted by capsuleers like you, and find ones that they think are worth answering to the greater public. The pilots that submit good questions get an extension of their Omega, which is sweet, I guess. For the second round, the Jove representative Lancelot answered 3 questions. The first question was actually a suggestion for a type of ship insurance system. Lancelot replied that there is an insurance system being developed that should be finished around February, which means we'll see it around July. The second asked for a way to demote an inactive CEO in a corporation. This response focused on the design challenges of making certain the mechanic can't be abused, and pondered the idea of a democratic corporation. And I don't know about you, but the idea of a democratic corporation just kind of gives me the chills. It's like a jumbo shrimp. It's oxymoronic. The third question dealt with the fact that new players will be behind older players in terms of progression. Lancelot took an interesting tack here and talked about introducing a way to close the gap in a new event, that we are going to keep our hopes up that something like this will be done tastefully, or at all. And we're going to get on to them update patches. Oh, those update patches. This discussion surrounding last Tuesday's update was a flurry of confusion as people attempted to figure out what a, quote, prestige display rules, quote, was, what it was and how it related to drones. While there were many ideas, it turns out that it just fixed it so drones showed up properly as allied or enemy drones, which is weird. They also increased the reward items you get for completing advanced missions and made it so it clearly says where those rewards will be deposited. And finally, they corrected the wrong elite enemies that were hiding in the Quaith Legion mission. No more surprise T-10 battleship. Alright. Overall, the last week has been a pleasant mix of news and updates. We can get used to this trend. Seriously. Now, they say NOMUSIC is a place of chaos. It is an area defined by its lawlessness. However, in some corners of this dangerous zone, there are islands of stability, areas protected by their leaders and fellow capsuleers. Even among these, though, the stellar Tyrants hold a unique position of having a sea of blue and green that drowns any enemies that might find a way into their space. This safe realm among the choppy seas of NOMUSIC is no accident. No. The members of Stellar Tyrants are some of the most active and cooperative you'll find in New Eden. They find a quiet safety in the rules and precautions they've put into place. These pilots care about each other, and they care about protecting the areas of space that they have claimed as their own. So if you want a structured, cooperative, and active corporation, let's sign on with Stellar Tyrants today by messaging Torin number 6192 on Discord. It's Torin, Torin, number 6192 on Discord. They know what it takes to make their space freaking safe. Hey, in case you don't know, you're listening to eBeckos Radio. So, our only major sources on New Eden battles and wars lately seems to be coming from those involved with GenFed and DP, Death Phantom. So, that's what we'll be covering. Another station has fallen in this war, this one on Death Phantom's side. Seems like DP is having issues keeping people and corporations invested. It has hemorrhaged multiple corporations, with several joining up with Genesis Federation and evacuating from DP territory under heavy escort. Gate camps and battles continue to rage across the south as Faithabilis, Omist, and Immensia are all ravaged by this war, with billions in losses mounting on both sides. The Regium Corporation has thrown their forces into the fight behind DP, counting up over 17 billion in kills on GenFed targets in a day and a half. But GenFed kills on DP totaled up to almost 9 billion in just 2 of those hours. This war doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon, but it definitely appears to be moving in GenFed's favor for the moment, with noticeable withdrawal of DP forces from contested regions. And now I have... Excuse me. This is our, in place of our featured content creator, which we've usually used, we've replaced that section with a new community event section. And this week we have some information on Murder Ball and a new bounty Discord. So first up is Murder Ball. The next Murder Ball event is called Sigma's Freaking Rager. Actually, it's just called Sigma's Rager, but freaking should be in there. It's scheduled for about 3 weeks from now on December 12th. With over 400 million in potential prizes, you are looking at a huge windfall if you participate and win, and a lot of fun even if you don't. It's going to be great. This event has no restrictions on what you bring and will be an all-out free-for-all melee. In the words of Chaos Weave, if you always wanted to lose a Myrmidon to a fleet of Kestrels, here's your chance, because anything goes. And now we're going to talk about the new bounty board. EOSAC's office is unfortunately defunct. It no longer offers an easy place to see bounties or buy information about New Eden. It hasn't been for a while. But a new challenger has taken the reins. Medic 115 has opened the neutral zone. And this is a brand new bounty board that has just opened up. They only have one bounty right now, but it's a pretty damn big one. This bounty is against Commander Tequila. That's CMDRTEQUILA. Commander Tequila. CMDR. They fly around Jedfed space usually. And they're seen in Paragon Soul, and they're seen in Esoteria. If you can kill their Hurricane or their Macariel, then you might be able to claim a 300 million ISK bounty. These are only for the first kill on each of these ships. However, if you're a part of his current corporation or affiliated with a GenFed alliance, then you are not eligible to collect this bounty. So, don't try. So we here at EER like doing our fun secret contest phrase that's worth at least 10 million ISK, and nobody got it last week, so now it's worth at least 20 million ISK. And the contest phrase is, "Where'd my ISK go?" All you have to do is message me, Frankie, on Discord in a DM and say, "Where'd my ISK go?" and be the first one to do it, and you will win at least a 20 million ISK contract. So, do you have a cool story about your experiences in the game? Do you know something about interesting ops hiding under people's noses or massive fleet battles that have gone unreported? Do you want to get some easy ISK for a bit of information and an interview? As mentioned earlier, just contact us at EER News and see if your story is worth a news bounty of up to 10 million ISK, maybe even more. And that's evesechoesradio at gmail.com, or message Dejers on Discord, or message me on Discord. In case you forgot, you're listening to Eve Echoes Radio. eveechoesradio.com, or on the apps at the Google Play Store. Unfortunately, not on the Apple App Store. Yeah, they want $100 for me to put this up there. I'm gonna have to start a GoFundMe or something. Space is cold. Only those that are willing to risk the dangers of ripping the minerals from the depths of space can survive to fuel the vast economies of New Eden. These groups are often cutthroat with stringent requirements, quotas, and rules, but some have different goals. Some just want to give their miners a place to call home. The House of M Enterprises is an industrial wing of the Golden Horde Alliance. They aim to provide a safe and easy place for their pilots to prosper, and have been rewarded with the loyal and adaptable pilots that now fill their ranks. Strength, honor, and loyalty. These are the values the members of Home live by. Reach out to Ames Percival, number 8642 on Discord, to see if you can call their space home. This is Eve Echoes Radio, in case you've lost your mind. We changed up our market information a little bit to cover more information in ways that are slightly more relevant to how pilots actually approach the activities we are talking about. So let's start with PI. The top tier planetary industries still seem to be precious alloy, heavy metals, and dark compound and crystal compound. These on a planet should nab you over 9,000 ISK per hour for every mining array you have on that planet. Things you shouldn't be mining right now are your base metals, industrial fibers, heavy liquid, or liquid ozone. Those will get you sub 2,500 for the same amount of effort that the top four give you. Place your PI mining smart and make the most ISK you can out of it. Do your research. Look at the market. After all, it's basically free money. You could really tweak it around. Now, mining. All you rock shooters out there should listen up. We got some solid looks at the rocks you're hitting, and are putting out recommendations on the ones you should be hitting instead. For all our pals up there in high sec, looks like you definitely want to focus on mining scordite and kernite for your paydays. It won't be a large payday, but it's honest work, and it's the highest paying one that you're going to be able to get up there. It's high sec. What do you expect? That should be high sec's motto. It's high sec. What do you expect? For all you down in low sec, you have a few more options. Hemerphite. Every time I see that word, I want to say a different one, but hemerphite and spodumene are the most valuable things to focus on for your mining, and will give you the biggest paydays for low sec mining. And if you want to mine in low sec. And finally, if you're a real miner, bastote and crocite are the ones you want to focus on when you're in nullsec. Oh yeah. So, on to our dead space portion. For those of you out there fighting the good fight and clearing nullsec of NPC pirates, we'll be doing a quick look over at dead space loot values across New Eden. Garista ship debris has dropped 10 million down to 30 million ISK, followed by Sancha at just over 30 million and Serpentis at 15 million. Those three are your high dollar payouts, especially before the Jove fixed the problems we've been seeing, having extra debris clouds covering the more uninhabited spaces. So get on that. Dead space small weapons now cost on average around 12 million, with cannons and lasers sitting around 10 million ISK. Missiles have come down to around 15 million on average. Similar story plays out with medium dead space weapons, with medium missiles commanding a price of about 80 million, and medium rapids holding a price of over 40 million, while the rest of the market barely clears 10 million per. And if you don't want to be brave in a dead space, then story missions are still a good option. Every story mission has increased by value a little bit, but the top tier ones have gone up quite a bit, considering. A single Friends by Blood has gone up 5 million to 55 million. Sweet Poison has shot up 30 million to sell for upwards of 80 million. Angel or Devil have gone up 25 million to a pleasant 75. And Bad Hair Day, oh yeah, Bad Hair Day has gone up 15 million to continue to command a top price of 105 million ISK or so. These are some crazy totals, and if you know what you're doing, you could twist those in your favor very easily. On top of that, these are only the top price scrolls. Many of the other ones are worth between 10 and 30 million ISK. Enough people are still doing the missions after the PvE patch that this is still a volatile and profitable market. So, Plex, not much has really changed there. Plex is the same price range of around 449 to 450k, and it's continuing to be a nice stable price range, and will continue to be for the next while in our opinion. But this definitely isn't a bad holding point. It's a pretty damn good holding point. The next major jump will likely be when we roll into Tier 9 technology, but that's months and months away from now. So, it might crack 500, it might not, but we're not likely to see it go down very much. Remember, the best time to buy Plex was at launch for pennies, and the second best time is now. Now we're going to be playing. It's been a great show tonight. I'd like to talk about a couple other news broadcasters before we go. First, the Allied News Network, or ANN, is a news conglomerate headed by Rev Deuce, with the goals of bringing a common thread of veracity and quality to the New Eden news sphere. Check them out by looking up check them out at Rev Deuce's channel, and we are part of the Allied News Network. The Kerensky Show is an irreverent look at the politics of Eve Echoes. They do live streams on various topics to do with meta commentary and stringent politics that surround the game. And finally, EFTF is Echoes from the Front, and they are also a part of ANN, run by Damon Zell. They air a weekly news roundup that takes a deep dive into the highlights of the previous week. We will see you guys at our next broadcast. Might be in a week, might not. We're not sure. But we will see you guys later. I'm sending you back to that great auto DJ in the sky. 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 Sky.